Hey, this is my 50th video since lockdown began. Special, isn't it? I want to dedicate it to all the frontliners who have been working so hard during these COVID times to keep us all safe. Well, I'm already doing a series on woman power and highlighting some of the legendary unsung heroes. So now I think I'll start a series on a few first Indian female doctors who practiced Western medicine. These were extraordinary women, and listening to their life stories will surely give you goosebumps. I'm sure some questions are popping in your head as to who these extraordinary women were, what were the challenges they faced, what kind of background did they come from, and who gave them solid support, when and from which university did they qualify, how long did they practice medicine, did they wear any extra hats other than being doctors, and what were their achievements? Yes, I can hear all those questions. Hold on, I'm definitely going to answer all those questions. Plus, in addition, I will give you some interesting anecdotes as well. Okay? If you look at the list of the names, Dr. Anandibai Joshi, Dr. Kadambini Ganguly, Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy, Dr. Rukmabai, Dr. Mary Lucas, the list goes on. Come, I will take you now through a journey in time. Let's go. On 31st March 1865, in a family of landlords in Kalyan, Bombay, a girl child was born and she was named Yamuna. When Yamuna was just 9 years old, she was married to Gopal Rao Joshi, a postal clerk who was elder to her by 20 years. Gopal started calling Yamuna Anandi. When Anandi turned 14, she gave birth to a baby boy, but due to lack of medical care, this child died just 10 days after birth. Anandi and Gopal were filled with grief, but this became a turning point in their lives because this inspired Anandi to study and become a doctor, and Gopal decided to support Anandi fully, come what may. Those days it was quite unusual for husbands to focus on their wives' education. But just the following year, Gopal sent a letter to a well-known American missionary, Mr. Royal Wilder, seeking help for his wife's education abroad and also a suitable position for himself so that he could work there in the USA. Mr. Wilder published it in his Princeton's Missionary Review, and interestingly, a lady called Theodosia Carpenter read this while she was waiting for her dentist appointment, and she was quite impressed. She started corresponding with Anandi and they became quite close. By this time, Anandi and Gopal had moved to Kolkata. Anandi's health was deteriorating. She was getting frequent headaches, weakness, breathlessness, and sometimes fever too. The society those days was so conservative that they just did not like Anandi going abroad to study. They objected. But Gopal insisted that Anandi should study, at least to set an example for future generation of girls. So Anandi gave an emotional talk in front of a huge crowd in a hall in a place called Seram Court and explained the need for lady doctors in India at that time. People understood and financial aid started pouring in. In 1883, Anandi set sail for America. She reached New York and was received by Lady Theodosia. She applied for admission in Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania, and at the age of 19, Anandi started her medical studies, and in March 1886, she succeeded in getting a degree which was MD. The topic of her thesis was obstetrics among Aryan Hindus. Queen Victoria sent her a congratulatory message. Towards the end of 1886, Anandi returned to India and she was given a grand welcome. She was also appointed as the physician in charge of the female ward at the Albert Edward Hospital in Kolhapur. But due to the adverse weather conditions and different cuisine of USA, her health deteriorated further and she contracted tuberculosis. No treatment could cure her. So on February 26, 1887, just a few days before her 22nd birthday, Dr. Anandibai Gopal Rao Joshi breathed her last. Her ashes were sent to Lady Theodosia in New York, and she placed them in her family cemetery with the inscription, Anandi Joshi was a Hindu Brahmin girl. She was the first Indian woman to go abroad for her studies and obtain a medical degree. Anandibai Joshi's biography has been written in English and Marathi. Her life has been portrayed in the form of a play in Gujarati, and a film has been made on her life in Marathi. An NGO by the name of IRDS has been giving an award in honor of her contribution for the advancement of medical sciences in India. Maharashtra government has established a fellowship for any young woman who would pursue studies on women's welfare. And a crater on the planet Venus has been named Joshi after her. How cool is that, isn't it?